Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido and we are kicking off round 16 from Spikemuth City where the Rockets are hosting the Eterna Devons, and in our inaugural season the Rockets became our first ever champions, whereas the Eterna Devons took home that wooden crown. But right now both these sides are amongst the leaders 8, where every single side have won 7 games, with the Rockets currently on a 4-game losing streak. The Devons want to get their 4th win in a row. But with all that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this matchup. Will it be the dark types? Will it be the grass types? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
And with so much riding on this, it is low kick starting out for the Rockets immediately with the Crush Claw onto Vileplume, who is joined by its Oddish family in Bellossom. And we are going to have Mightyena following up with the Dragon Hammer, getting some great damage here onto Vileplume, as Bellossom is going to respond with the Aerial Ice, getting some chip damage onto Mightyena, who's still yet to get an elimination this season. We do get the Water Gun from Vileplume onto low kicks, gets in some good damage, but it is the Meteor Beam being set up by low kicks here. It is much more of a physical attacker as it gets that special attack boost from overflowing with this space power, and Mightyena is going with the Brine. This is resisted by Vileplume, but it does put it into knockout range. However, Vileplume does respond with the Forest's Curse. It is going to add that grass typing to Mightyena, who is now a grass dark type, and Bellossom tries for the Sucker Punch, but unfortunately there are no suckers on the side of the Rockets, even though they are in the midst of that losing streak. The Meteor Beam onto Bellossom gets some great damage off there by low kicks. Mightyena going for the Scary Face, not going for the easy elimination of Vileplume. This is going to greatly lower the speed of Bellossom here, as Vileplume is going with the present, gifting this present over to low kicks. That's actually going to restore its health. It is backfired here on the Devons, as Bellossom trying to do their part. They are going to set up the Misty Terrain across the battlefield in Spikemuth Arena here, as that Misty is going to swirl around the battlefield. Low kicks is going for the Haze. They're looking to eliminate all stat changes that we've seen so far in this match, and Mightyena again has an opportunity to get its first elimination. It goes with the Mach Punch, but it goes for Bellossom instead of Vileplume. Bellossom is going to respond with the False Swipe, but that is not a shiny Mightyena. However, Vileplume does follow it up with the Struggle Bug. This is extremely effective, and it eliminates Mightyena from this match, lowering the special attack of low kicks in the process. But still, Mightyena the only Pokemon without an elimination this season. It is Crawdon entering for the Rockets, as we get the Fire Blast from low kicks to immediately level the playing field, taking Bellossom out with that super effective connection. However, Vileplume is going to respond with the Drain Punch, putting low kicks into knockout range with that critical play, taking itself out of knockout range, draining that energy from the part bug type. However, Crawdon going for its first move of the matchup goes with the U-turn. Vileplume is able to hang on by a thread as Crawdon hangs back to the bench. It is Scrafty entering in their place with that Intimidate ability. It does lower the physical attack stat of Vileplume, who is now joined by Ludicolo. Low kicks could go for the easy elimination with the Power Gem here. It does target down Vileplume, putting the Rockets back in front here, as Ludicolo looking to respond, going with the Arm Thrust, this multi-hit move, looking to immediately level the playing field here. It's got 2, it needs this third one, it still needs one more. Low kicks is holding on, but the 4th connection will take it out of this match, and we know that Crawdon will be returning to the field. But before that can happen, Scrafty has an opportunity to try and capitalize here, as it is going to go with the Lash Out onto Ludicolo, gets in some great damage, as well as Crawdon does return to the field. The Devons, they are going to send out Jumpluff, and Jumpluff immediately with the magic powder here. It is going to change Crawdon into a Psychic type, and Ludicolo does follow up with the Defend Order, as the Eterna Devons, they have taken full speed control. Ludicolo does get that defense and special defense boost, and that special defense is base 100, as Scrafty is going for the Facade, targeting down Ludicolo for some chip damage here. But Ludicolo is about to chow down on its berry, restoring its health. It's holding on to that Citrus Berry, offsetting the damage from the Facade, as Crawdon is going with the Psycho Cut, now being a Psychic type as well, capitalizing on that new type. In the Mist does disappear from the field, as Jumpluff, it is going to go for the Thunder Punch, but doesn't go for the part Water type Crawdon, instead going for Scrafty to get in some minimal damage. But it's the Brave Bird from Ludicolo. It will take some recoil damage, but it gets off some great damage onto Crawdon. However, it does put itself into knockout range, and Scrafty with the Forest Curse, trying to add the Grass type into the already Grass type Pokemon, so that is going to fail. However, Crawdon trying to do their part. They're going to badly poison Ludicolo here with that Toxic, and Ludicolo is such an easy target. This will get progressively worse, but it won't take long for it to fully take Ludicolo out of this match. But before that can happen, Jumpluff is going with the Howl, not going on the offensive. Instead, it's going to boost its own physical attack as well as the physical attack of that Poison Ludicolo, who is going to go with the Force Palm, but that's not very effective on the Psychic type Crawdon. Otherwise, it would have been super effective if it was still its original typing. We get the Belly Drum from Scrafty, cutting into its health to maximize its physical attack that is base 90. Crawdon is going to go for the triple dive. It's going to need all three of these if it's hoping to take down Ludicolo, and that still may not be enough, and it isn't. Ludicolo is still hanging on, but unfortunately for it, it has been badly poisoned, and thanks to that Toxic setting in, it is eliminated as the Spikemuth Rockets have taken the lead once again, and they want to hold their record over the Devons, having never lost them, as Among Us does enter for the Devons. We get the Mortal Spin here from Jumpluff that is going to get some chip damage onto both Scrafty and Crawdon, but it's going to poison them both as well. They're going to be feeling what Ludicolo felt, except theirs will not get progressively worse as Scrafty is going for the Waterfall. This will be a resistor, but still gets in some fantastic damage onto Among Us. Crawdon with the Thunder, capitalizing on that part flying typing of Jumpluff, gets in some good damage as Among Us has flinched. This could be crucial here as that poisoning has put Scrafty into knockout range. Crawdon still trying to hold on as well, just outside knockout range it seems, as Jumpluff it is going for the Rapid Spin to put Crawdon into knockout range. It has that poisoning, it will have one opportunity to respond here as it is chowing down on that Staffberry. It is going to boost its special attack as Scrafty. It is going to go for the Reflect, not going on the offensive. Instead, it is going to make the Rockets stronger against physical moves as Crawdon with its last chance goes for the Tail Glow. It doesn't go on the offensive. Instead, it is going to boost its special attack once again, but it is such an easy target, and it's on the receiving end of the extra sentry. Now that it is the Psychic type, it is eliminated with that not very effective damage, and we have a level playing field 3 versus 3. But that could all change if Scrafty can't hang on, but it has barely by a thread, and it is going to be joined by our friend Malamar entering this contest. Jumpluff setting up with the Cosmic Power. It is going to boost its defensive stats, both physical and special. But Malamar going for its first move of the match does go with the Iron Head, gets in some good damage here onto Jumpluff, and Scrafty is going to follow it up with the super effective Fire Spin onto Among Us. It should have gone with its boosted physical attack though, as it does trap Among Us in that Fiery Vortex. Among Us does respond with the Terra Blast, taking it straight to Malamar, getting in some good damage there as well, but the poisoning is going to finish Scrafty off, so the Eterna Devons have now taken the lead with the 3-2 advantage. Both these sides, they want to move to the top of the leaders 8. It is Cacturne entering for the Rockets, and it's on the receiving end of a Bitter Blade. Super effective here from Jumpluff. It is going to be restoring more health after it was such an easy target earlier on, and Cacturne already haven't taken a great deal of damage before it's even had the opportunity to go for a move of the Shadow Claw from Malamar onto Jumpluff. Cacturne is going to follow up with the Draco Meteor to take Among Us out of this matchup, lowering its own special attack in the process. It is a 2v2 game. The Devons, their last Pokemon, it is their Terrestrial Drafty. Rabsco has entered this match, taking on this Grass typing hit, and Cacturne, being a part Grass type itself, might take that personally here. We'll see who can come out on top. As we said, both sides have 7 wins, and they want to move up to within striking range of the Elite Four. The Kowtow Cleave from Jumpluff onto Cacturne, not very effective. This opens the door for Malamar to go with the Mountain Gale. This will be super effective, but it is avoided by Rabsco. However, Cacturne is going to try and do their part with the Foul Play in response to Jumpluff, putting them into knockout range, but Jumpluff is going to chow down on their Lancer Berry. They are getting pumped here as Rabsco. They are going to go for the Acrobatics, minimal damage here onto Malamar, but Jumpluff trying to do their part does go for the Discharge, connecting with everybody on the field. It does put Cacturne into knockout range with that not very effective move, thanks to it being a critical play, and it's left it with that Paralysis. This is going to slow down Cacturne and Malamar also with the Paralysis. This may also make them unable to move. Rabsco avoids the Paralysis as Cacturne, they're going to chow down on their own Lancer Berry. They too are getting pumped as Malamar is chowing down on their Citrus Berry, offsetting some of that damage to restore their health. And with the full speed control, it is the close combat from Rabsco onto Malamar thanks to that part Psychic typing. It is not super effective. The defense and special defense of Rapska, they do get lowered here. It's become an easier target. Malamar can capitalize. Instead, it goes with the Acid Armor. This is going to boost its own defense a great deal as Cacturne goes with the Circle Throw. There's no bench to send Rapska back to, but it still gets in some great damage as the Reflect does wear off for the Rockets. Jumpluff still holding on, is going with the Shell Smash, knowing that it's such an easy target. It is going to cut into its defensive stats to boost its offensive stats as well as its speed. Now, it already has that speed control, but those 55 base offensive stats are getting that boost, and that could be crucial here. As we said, it is such an easy target. We get our first time on him. We get the present from Rapska. This time they do get some damage off onto Malamar, who is able to shake off that paralysis for the guillotine, but that is avoided by Jumpluff as Cacturne, though, they are trying to do their bit with the Stone Axe, and they take Rapska out of this match with the critical play. The Rockets, they have the 2-1 advantage. Jumpluff is barely hanging on here in this matchup, and those stones, those floating stones, are going to be on the side of the Devons, but there's no more bench to be emptied. Those entry hazards don't matter as the Glaive Rush from Jumpluff takes Malamar out with its own critical play. It's Cacturne versus Jumpluff, who is the supreme grass type between these two. Cacturne's unable to move though due to its paralysis. We get another time warning, but Jumpluff goes with the Mortal Spin, and that super effective move. Jumpluff, after the Shell Smash, hanging on by a thread. The Devons, for the first time ever, have taken out the Rockets here, and with that, this is going to move the Devons all the way up to 5th place, knocking on the door of the Elite Four, and next round they are going up against the Castelia Pinchers, whereas for the Rockets, this is their 5th loss in a row, and next round they are going up against the Sutopolis Aqua. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.